Good morning. Happy Monday, guys. How's everybody feeling today? So, I thought today would be an excellent day for us to talk about, guess what? The solar eclipse. I know you're shocked, but I happen to live in the path of totality, and I'm kind of psyched about it. Whatever your religious beliefs are, you could probably admit that we could all use a little bit of a rebirth right now, right? So, at the point at which totality happens when the earth goes dark for 2 minutes or whatever, that is an excellent time for you to try to let go of the bad stuff in your life, metaphysically speaking, or whatever, and to begin to move toward the good stuff in your life, right? Change, rebirth, things like that. I find this very exciting. Hello, Renee. Hello, Jillian. Hello, Amanda. How's everybody feeling? I hope everybody can hear me okay today. All right. So while I'm waiting for you all to get here, hey, Zoe, Malta's in the house. He welcomes everyone and offers technical information for those who need it. DJ J Love is here. Marina, hey, Marina from Italy. Patricia Harrington says, good morning, everyone. Waves. Hey, good morning, Patricia. Abby Maldonado is waving. Hey, Abby. Good morning. Good morning, Bonnie. Renee. She says, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I've been dreaming this weekend. That's awesome. Tell me about that, Renee. Abby Maldonado says, yep. Right on. Malda says, good morning, everyone. David H. says, good morning. Tommy D. says, good morning, peeps. Let's get jiggy. Motivational Monday. Woo! Sarah Dean says, afternoon, everyone from the UK. Afternoon, Sarah Dean. Angie L's here. Hey, Angie L. Welcome back, honey. She says, good morning, Angie and tribe. Stop the chaos. Oh, yeah. He says, I'm doing it. As I'm making plans for myself, he all of a sudden wants to be a part of these things. Of course he does. Stop the chaos says, it's not working. I will not bend over backward for him anymore. Good for you. Good for you. Luby Elizabeth D is here. Elizabeth Lee, my bad, says, good morning. Good morning, Luby. How you doing? I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Des. Hey, Des. How you doing? Phyllis G is in the house. Says, good morning, Angie and everyone. Good morning, Phyllis. Ted Baker's here. Hey, Ted Baker. How you doing, honey? Tommy D says, way to go. Stop the chaos. Stopping the chaos. Yes. Okay, guys. So how many of you are excited about the eclipse today? Anybody? Or is it just me? Am I a huge nerd? I am a huge nerd. I can admit that. It's okay. Let me know. Anyway, happy Monday, Brianna, with your beautiful face. How are you doing? I hope you guys are well today. So I am psyched. My husband and I are going to go to a very close park. He took the day off today, and we're gonna kind of watch it from nature. Stop the Chaos says, I went to a dance meetup over this weekend. Kids wanted to go, and it was fantastic. He opted to mow the yard. So much better without him. I bet it was. Goodness gracious. Good morning, Miss Lily. She says, good morning, ladies and gents. Deanna Stodala is here. She says, good morning. Good morning, Deanna. All right. So how's everybody's weekend? Abby Maldonado says it's supposed to rain here in the morning, but so far it's pretty sunny. I'm in Maryland, and I hope to get some of the eclipse, 85% of the sun covered. That's awesome. Ha! Stop the Chaos says total eclipse of the narc. I mean the heart. Ooh, that would be a good song for me to do for one of those. That's good. I like that. Total eclipse of the narc. Okay. Oh, Malta's excited about the eclipse. That's awesome, Malta. Hair changes color says, morning, y'all. Morning, girl. How you doing? Tina Martin says, morning. I'm all excited. I'm an astrology dork. Right on, girl. Right on. I'm into it. Des says she's going to watch on Twitter, so not just you. Okay, that's cool. I can dig that. Amanda Jackson says, rough Sunday. NARC came unexpectedly to retrieve personal property, and I had to set boundaries. I found rats in the backyard where NARC made living quarters for them. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Well, Amanda, how are you doing today? Are you feeling any better? Did you get through it okay? Patricia Harrington says, I would like to say you're making a huge impact on people's lives, spreading awareness. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that very much. That is part of the reason I do what I do. The other part is to support you guys. Yeah. Because when I was going through it, I didn't have anybody who knew what I was going through. So it was important to me to be able to do this for you guys. Tommy D says, my narc's little brother OD'd, oh my God, and died this weekend. So I broke no contact. Now I'm in a place I've never been. Very emotional. Talk to me, Tommy. What's going on? Malta says, LOL to stop the chaos. Carlita Vega's in the house. Hey, Carlita Vega, how you doing? She says, good morning, everybody. Bonnie says, I'm going to wear the solar eclipse glasses with my with my sister and grandson. We'll wear our eclipse glasses. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, I think she meant watch. I gotcha. Watch the solar eclipse. That's awesome, Bonnie. Madeline Gutierrez says, good morning, Angie and roommates. Hey, girl. Hey. She says, I got a bump by my NARC. Excited about your summit. NARC contacted me. I was okay. No contact. Day 55 for me. Madeline, that's amazing. Congratulations. And I'm really excited about the summit too. It's really coming together nicely. The speakers are getting all set up for their time slots, and it's coming together very nicely. I think you guys are going to be very excited. Good morning, Esty. How are you? She says, good morning, everyone. Happy Eclipse Monday. She said, oh, the NARC husband left Saturday night. I'm feeling calm and strong. I have a support system in place. SD, I'm so happy for you. I know it's a little bit scary, but it's a good scary because life's about to get a whole lot better for you, my friend. And I'm so glad to hear that you have a support system in place. That's so important. All right, Javaria Saeda is here. She says, hi, I just went no contact with my narcissist boyfriend. And now I'm feeling extremely depressed. Please tell me how I can get out of it. Okay. It is hard, Javaria. And you, I'm sure will see lots of good advice from people in this chat, people who have been there and done that. But let me tell you something. You start by changing your mind. Now, if you need to go through the sadness, it's okay. Take the time to mourn. You know, this is very similar to what it feels like when someone dies in your life, because what has essentially happened is, you know, the mask has come completely off of the narcissist, and now you know really what you're dealing with. And so one of the things that you want to do right now is give yourself the time to feel your feelings. Put an end date on the feelings. You know what I mean? So like decide, okay, I'm going to let myself be sad, say a week or a weekend or whatever works for you. And then at the end of that time, I want you to be prepared. The night before you decide your days are, you know, your morning is over, I want you to sit down and decide what you're going to do next. Okay. So like, let's say if you give yourself a week. Okay. So a week from today, next Monday, you're going to wake up and you're going to stop crying. You're going to stop being sad. And then you're going to start to refocus your thoughts, right? So instead of every time you think about the narcissist, you cry, well, then every time you think about the narcissist, you go, nope, I'm going to cancel that thought and I'm going to replace it with thoughts of what I really want, okay? An affirmation of my true divine desire. That's the time that you're going to want to begin to focus on yourself, on how to make yourself, your life better. What have you not been doing with the narcissist that you want to do in your life? What has the narcissist stopped you from doing? Do you have dreams that you want to follow? Do you have passions you've been missing out on? Start looking at that kind of stuff. Start getting out there. Like somebody earlier in this chat said they went to a dance meetup. You know, go to a meetup group or go hang out with people who are on the same page as you in certain ways, right? I think you can do this, Javaria. Stick with us too, because we are here every weekday and twice on Tuesdays supporting each other. And then you can also join SPAN, which is my support for people affected by narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships group. You can get that at queenbeing.com/SPAN. So check that out. Amanda Jackson says, my place is a mess, but his things being removed, I'm feeling better. Well, Amanda, this is a perfect day for this. This is the perfect day for you to start to rebuild, rebirth yourself in your life. Okay. It just so happens that the universe is all lined up to give you that. It almost happened ideally in a way, even though it sucks the way it happened, Amanda. Today is a perfect day for you to redesign your life. And, you know, even though your place is a mess, yesterday I cleaned my house like crazy. It felt really good. I made my kids help and everything. I took away the tablet and I was like, all right, if you want this back, we're doing this. And we had it done in an hour and a half, the whole thing. So, but whatever you choose to do, today is a perfect day, Amanda, for you to start to change everything to make it yours again. Okay. Ellen May says, I'm so sorry, Tommy D. I am also so sorry. Stop the Chaos says, the kids and I are watching the eclipse at school. Now he's scrambling to come after, telling us, no, wait for me. Of course. Sorry, I can't. Too much for me to do. Meet you there. Major progress for me. I'm really proud of you, Stop the Chaos. It is major progress, and I know how hard it is. I know. So keep on keeping on. You can do this. I know you can. Jillian says, turn around every now and then. And he gets a little phony and hasn't stopped yet. Oh, geez, Jillian, talk to me. What's going on? Wait a minute. Brianne Garner says, I had a very bad dream that I broke no contact with the ex-narc. I felt horrible in my dream, but I was so relieved when I woke up. What a sigh of relief. Yeah. See, and I think that dream was telling you that subconsciously, even though part of you might still want to break no contact, the bigger part of you knows better, right? Okay. Jillian says, I'm having doubts almost exclusively with abusive relationships. That is saying a lot. Having doubts. Oh, wait. Oh, I missed a bunch of things. Hold on a minute. Let me scroll back up. I hate when that happens. Okay. I'm going to scroll back up. I missed a lot of things. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I did. Okay. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Stop the chaos. Okay. We got that one. Rick Mash says, good morning, all. Abby Maldonado. I'm in Maryland also. Girl. Hi, Rick. Brad McEwen says, recovery success is the narc being the sun and us being the moon. In effect, mooning the sun permanently. Hey, I'm all about that, actually. I'm all about that. I like that. That's great, Brad. Good job. I like that one. Alexandra A is here. Hey, Alexandra A, how you doing? She says, hi, I met this person 2 months ago and we were talking good, but I found out he's passive aggressive and controlling. In arguments, he's very angry and speaks very harshly toward me. What should I do? Well, 2 months ago, I mean, I understand that you're kind of getting into it, but 2 months ago, you've still got time to get out without ruining your life. I would suggest that you consider whether you want to deal with this for the rest of your life, Alexandra, because if he's already 2 months in, very angry and very harshly speaking toward you during the arguments, my friend, I promise it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. This is not something that it's so early in the relationship for him to already be doing this is very negative. It's a very, very big red flag, and you're absolutely right to be concerned. My suggestion is consider ending it right away. Consider going no contact and don't continue to let this person infect your life with his poison. Thoughts? Cheryl Wooster's in the house. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. How are you? Renee Goodell's here. She's already knew that. Hey, Renee, how you doing, girl? She says, dream Saturday night, 2 pieces of luggage were stolen in the airport as I was talking to a customer service rep. Looked over my left shoulder. It was gone. Blue suitcase, other color unknown of the second case. Interesting, Renee. That's interesting. Have you looked up the significance of that? I think there's definitely something to it. Luggage could represent baggage. It could represent a lot of different things. Did you see the person that took it? What did they look like? Jillian says, that's terrible about the overdose, but please realize that you are not responsible for their grieving process. This is for Tommy D. And unfortunately, the narcissist will probably use it to get sympathy, as they tend to do. Absolutely, Tommy D. That's the truth. Shannon O'Brien is here. She says, happy Monday, everybody. And hello, 17 days, no contact with mother, feeling great. Yeah, it's a huge relief off your chest. I remember feeling, Shannon, when I went no contact with mine, this huge weight lifted off of me. And suddenly I was no longer concerned about, what was she going to think about what I was doing? What was she going to feel if I did this, that, or the other thing? What if I, wrote this article or did that job or whatever? It doesn't matter because, I could decorate my house. It doesn't matter when you're not being controlled anymore. Suddenly there's this huge sense of freedom and lightness. It's a beautiful thing. But be aware, Shannon, you may go through periods where you feel wavering, like you might waver a little bit. You might feel some guilt and stuff like that. But I want you to remind yourself that you're doing this for the right reason. And just like with a romantic relationship, make a list of all the reasons that you've done it and keep it just in case you need to look at it again, because it's real easy to forget the stuff that sucks as time goes on and start to feel bad about it, especially when it's apparent. Tommy D says, thank you. I want to console and comfort her, but she won't admit that she's triangulated and manipulated throughout our entire relationship. I hate pushing, though, because she's in a horrible place. Well, Tommy, I know you're going through a hard time, and I know she's going through a hard time, and I totally get that. But I also want you to understand that Jillian's right. And unfortunately, she may use this to get you back into her clutches. So I just want you to be very careful with whatever you choose to do. You're no longer responsible for her emotions. And remember that. But we'll support you no matter what. I want you to know that. We're not telling you what to do. We're just offering you suggestions and ideas. Okay. Stop the Chaos says, I watched one of your videos this morning and I want to know, how does he take one look at me and make me feel not good enough? I know I am, but how do I keep him from being under my skin? Well, it's something that has been programmed into you by the narcissist. Stop the Chaos. He has spent a lot of years teaching you that you're not as good as him and that you're not good enough. And so you've heard different iterations of that so often, and you've seen those eyes coming at you so often, making you feel that way. And how you keep him from being under your skin, honey, is you really work on that self-love factor. You really work on knowing for sure that not only are you good enough, but you're so damn good and so good at what you do, what you are, who you are, that you don't need to tolerate that. You begin to almost want to begin to feel sorry for him when he looks at you that way. You realize that he's not correct. You realize that not only is he not correct, but he's so far off base that he's totally missing out on an amazing person, and that's you. And that's not your problem. You don't have to worry about that. Don't feel sorry for him. Just remember that the reason he looks at you that way is because in reality, he thinks you're too good for him. He thinks he's not good enough. He's projecting his own insecurities and doubts onto you because it makes him feel better. He wants to stand on your head because it makes him feel stronger and better. But the truth is, you can go like this and knock him right off. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him stand on your head. Don't let him make you feel anything other than, well, don't let him make you feel anything. Don't give him the power to affect your emotions anymore. That's the thing. So when he does that, I want you to remember a couple of things. Something that has worked for me very well. There's a quote from actually like Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and she in the book, and it says, "I am fearless, therefore I am powerful." I want you to think about the immense profoundness of that quote. I am fearless, therefore powerful. What does that mean? That means that you have no fear. That means that because you have no fear, you will do whatever you have to do to move forward and succeed. I am fearless, therefore I am powerful. I want you to remember that. Stop the Chaos. I want you to say it to yourself anytime you feel not good enough. Be fearless, be powerful. You are and you can. You just have to choose it. You have to take it. You feel me? Does that help at all? Angie L says, every day the sun rises over my home. Today I plan to be on my deck with my 7 and 2-year-old grandbabies. Only partial eclipse here in Michigan. That's amazing, Angie L. That sounds so good. I love it. Yes, Renee, I see that dream interpretation that I read is releasing baggage. I agree. I felt the same way about that, but I wonder about the color of the suitcase. That has to be significant somehow, maybe. And maybe the airport is significant, so you might look that up. And with the suitcase is being stolen, that's different. It almost, maybe it's because I can't remember what your situation was, whether you left the narc or the narc has left you, or what the deal is. But if the narc has left you, then maybe it's almost like he, by leaving you, stole the baggage. And then I don't know. Anyway, I can think about this when I'm not in a live stream, but right now I'm trying to think of 75 things. Okay. Abby Maldonado says, awesome, Rick. Hey, neighbor, and waves. Bonnie says, they gave away the Eclipse classes free at the public library. Oh, that's awesome. They were completely gone within 20 minutes. Not surprised. My husband and I have one pair between us, so we're going to share them. Alexander A says, can love happen at first sight? Okay. I don't believe that's true. I know that there are people in the world who will tell you, listen, I fell in love at first sight and my relationship was happy and awesome and exciting, but and now it's 50 years later and we're still just as in love as the first day we met. I'm sure that people say that. And maybe there are a few cases where it's like that, but in general, I do not believe that love happens at first sight. I think infatuation can happen at first sight. And infatuation is sometimes a part of a healthy relationship. But in most cases, no. And I would also say this. I would say if love does happen at first sight, love will wait. It will wait for you. It will not require you to jump into a relationship that's super committed super fast. Anybody who's been involved with a narcissist can acknowledge that jumping into the relationship was a bad idea. So what I suggest to you is this. The reason I think narcissists like us to jump into the commitment so quickly is because they want to hurry up and catch us before we figure out who they really are, right? So one of the best things you can do is take time during the courtship, right? So like when I met my current husband, we dated, I guess about a year before we got like, I mean, we dated probably 9 months before we like really committed to each other. You know, like we were not dating other people or anything like that, but we didn't officially commit until we were about 9 months in. Then about a year after that, we moved in together and we got married 4 years later. So, you know, we took our time, and we had both been in relationships that were toxic before we got together. So we were both very careful and strategic with our choices. And I think that was helpful. I think it's important to be very careful not to let the infatuation take over and to try to find logic in it somehow, which is very difficult, right? Because when you're in the feeling of, oh my God, I'm so in love and everything's so amazing. I get it. It's really easy to fall for it, especially if you've just been in another toxic relationship. But it's also, you have to be very careful. Yeah. Amanda Jackson says, if I could show you photos, you would all be shocked. Oh, I imagine, Amanda, honey. I'm so sorry. Christy Evans wanted to know what a bump was, and I think what was meant by that statement was like a text or a contact of some sort. Shannon O'Brien says, our family went to the beach and had a wonderful time together. Grandma, mother was not informed of her plans. Good for you, Shannon. Good for you. That is amazing. I love that feeling. I love the way that feels when, suddenly it's a pure light kind of deal. Everything's better. It just feels, well, like I said, light. I remember I felt so heavy in my chest and my shoulders until I ended that mess. Stop the Chaos says, when I pointed out that he left and started dating, he said that even that wasn't enough for you to change your personality. Yeah, screw you, Narc is right. Girl, oh my God. You are so much better off without this jerk. There's nothing wrong with your personality, okay? There's something wrong with his personality, and he's projecting his shit onto you. I'm sorry. I feel very upset for you about this. But you made the right choice, and I'm so proud of you for staying strong. Stay strong. This is not about you. This is about his inadequacies, not yours. There's nothing wrong with you. It's him. He's the one who's broken, not you. You hear me? Know that. Okay. Jillian says, in 18 years of law, I've never seen anything so effective and life-changing as queen being. Jillian, I just freaking love you so hard. I just want to tell you right now. Okay. Jillian has, you guys know, she's our sort of resident attorney, not really resident, but she's the person that we look to when we have legal questions, her and David H. David H is our police detective. But Jillian deals with family law. Now, granted, she's in her, in one state, and so she can only tell us what she understands things to be state by state. She doesn't practice in all the states. I don't think lawyers do that generally. But she has been an amazing supporter of my mission of Queen Being, and she herself is a survivor. And I just literally love the crap out of this woman. I love her so hard. She's going to be one of our speakers in our summit, by the way. So if you have legal questions, she's going to be your girl. Anyway, Breon Garner says, wait, I had a very bad dream. Wait a minute. I read that one. Okay. I got there. Okay. We skipped over that. Jillian says, having doubts almost exclusively with abusive relationships, that is saying a lot. Yes. Tommy D says, she wants me to come to her brother's funeral. I'm not sure if I should. We both have PFAs against one another. Hers was in retaliation of mine. The flip. Yeah. Tommy, I get it. I would say this. If you were personally close to her brother, then maybe you can pop in at the funeral for the service only. I wouldn't stay for, I don't know how you guys do it over there, but I mean, the way my family usually does the funeral is, the day before they do the wake, and then the next day they do the funeral. So if I were you, maybe you could swing through for the wake or just the service part, but I wouldn't do it unless you were close to the brother specifically, because unfortunately the PFAs, that's kind of a thing. She might be using that in a weird, unfortunate way. But I don't know, Tommy. I don't think that I would recommend going unless you really feel like you must. That's my suggestion. What do you guys think about this? Give Tommy some advice. If If your narcissist sibling, if their sibling passed away, would you go to the funeral if you had an order of protection against them and they had one against you? I say no, unless you were super close to the sibling. And even then, the funeral's for the living, not the dead. You can mourn him without going to the funeral. But at the same time, I would understand if you were very close to the brother wanting to go and pay your respects. But I would not hang around with the family, and I would not make it a big thing. I would just quickly pay your respects and leave. I would really advise not going unless you feel like you absolutely must. That's just my personal advice, and I'd love to hear what everybody else here thinks about that. Amanda Jackson says, I could never miss this life, even though 50% was good. Absolutely. This is the thing. There's got to be a tipping point, and that's the thing about narcissists that so throws us off, is that when it's good, it's really, really good. But when it's bad, it's so bad. And it's so bad that we lose ourselves, and that's not worth it. It's not worth it to lose yourself ever. Okay. All right. The 51 Project. Hey there. Hi, I just found your work and Dr. Judy on narcissistic mothers. I'm 53 now and grew up in such a toxic environment. Has taken me till now to look at and understand harm done by mothers, by my mother without shame. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. It is, and it's incredibly painful. But I think that knowing what you've gone through, for me, it has allowed me to evolve in new ways. Knowledge is power, and every single time it's power. My thoughts. I don't think your age is, I know that you're like, I'm 53, but, and I think it's relevant, but I don't think it's as important as you might think. You still have a lot of years left to go, and you can now continue to evolve yourself and let go of those toxic beliefs that were shoved into your head by her. And like I said, today is a great day for that with the solar eclipse, the rebirth, all that stuff. It's a perfect day for that. Yep. All right, let's see here. Zoe says, Angie, can you bring up how they manipulate us, think we're crazy just because we have just because we have motives or other circumstances, just because you could, or coincidence doesn't mean you did something. Oh. Okay. So I think you're talking about gaslighting, or for example, I think what you're saying maybe is like if somebody were to, let's say you got stuck on an elevator with someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever y'all are into. I think that what you can see there is maybe your narcissist would get upset with you for being locked in an elevator with that person, stuck in an elevator with that person. Say, what if it was like overnight or something, and then they would attack you. You must have had sex with that person. You must have done this with that person. Whatever. Well, I think that, in that case, there's nothing you can do except for hope the elevator has a recording you could show them, right? But just because you could have done it doesn't mean you did it, right? So, but, or they manipulate us to, sometimes they want us to tell them, like, here's an example. When I was a kid, we went Christmas shopping. I guess I was about 13 or 14. And there was a bag that apparently someone had opened. It wasn't me. I didn't know anything about the bag. And my mother insisted that I had looked in this bag. I got in so much trouble. I got physically punished. I was treated really badly about it, screamed at, yelled at, called names, etc. And, I never looked in the bag. Today, I'm 42 years old. I'm telling you, I never looked in the bag. But the only thing that, she wanted me to admit that I looked in the bag. And because I wouldn't admit it, she did all those things. And finally, I said, okay, I looked in the bag, but I didn't look in the bag. And I tell you right now, to this day, I wish I had looked in the bag, because I still don't know what was in the damn bag. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's helpful or not. But Zoe, can you give me a little bit more clarification on what you're looking for here? Because I feel like maybe I'm missing something. Luby Elizabeth Lee says, my no contact hearts, I think she means my narcissist husband and our youngest child, went to a theme park this weekend. And for the very first time in 20 years there were no arguments or mental abuse by him. And actually, he admitted that he is a narcissist. That's unusual. Tell us more. Amanda Jackson says, that's what I'm working on. A paradise. All smiles, Angie. Oh, Amanda, I love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see here. Lost my spot. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. Lanny Slow says, hi, Angie and Survivor Tribe. Hey, Lanny, how you doing? Shannon O'Brien says, I'm finding such freedom and personal growth in no contact. Isn't that the truth? I felt the same way, honey. Madeline Gutierrez says, do something that takes care of you. Educate yourself about narc behavior. Amanda is doing awesome. My house is a mess too, but I have peace. Thank the Lord. Exactly. Peace is a beautiful thing, my friend. Speaking of beautiful, Timothy Yiser says, good morning, beautiful survivors. Good morning, Timothy. How you doing? Sarah Dean says, doing stuff for yourself is so helpful with healing. I'm doing all the things my ex wouldn't let me do. I just got a tattoo. I'm reconnecting with male friends, and I'm doing a skydive in 2 weeks. Sarah Dean, I am so proud of you. That is amazing. Those perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. Thank you. Stop the Chaos says, he makes some repeat things that really rub me. I'm on a wild ride and it's just beginning. Give me a break. How do I change my mindset so that it doesn't mess with my head? How about stop focusing on him? How about start focusing on your own wild ride you're about to go on, girl? Because look, he's doing that to hurt you. You know, first of all, don't react to it. The reason he keeps saying things like that is because he sees the pain on your face. All right. So the next time he does that, I want you to look right at his forehead or right above his head. Don't look him in his eyes. And I want you to go, oh, that's great. That's great. Very interesting. And just act like it doesn't bother you at all. Or if you want to be really bitchy, which I can't blame you if you do, you could be like, yeah, well, you should see the ride I'm on. Ha, so much better. You know, something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, my point is, don't allow him to affect you. And if he does affect you, don't let him see it, because pretty soon he'll get bored. The reason he says those things to you because he gets supply out of your reaction. When you look hurt and you look like you're in pain, or you cry, or you respond in a way that's angry or painful, you know, exhibits your pain, he's like, I like that. It feels good. Let me get some more of that supply. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it to him. Stop giving him the supply. And instead of focusing on his wild ride, focus on your wild ride, because life's about to get a whole lot better for you, my friend. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to stop looking at it as though you are subservient to or less than him. I want you to see this as though this is your life. F him, he's out. Okay. You feel me? Like, stay focused on what you want. Remember that your life's about to get better. Don't worry about him. His life might think it's exciting. He might think it's exciting right now, but I promise you, the minute he realizes that he's not going to get that good supply he used to get from you, it's going to get a lot less exciting. And the new people in his life, you know, may or may not tolerate his crap. And if they do, then, you know, too bad for them. If they don't, then maybe he'll be alone. Either way, it's not your problem anymore. All right. Either way, it's your life now, not his life. Don't let him continue to affect you. And because you're human and he does affect you, just work really hard on not showing it. Just look at him like this. Oh, that's very interesting. Like a robot. You know what I'm saying? And later, if you need to cry by yourself, that's fine. Don't let him see it. Don't let him see your anger, your pain, anything negative. Act like it's nothing to you. Act like he's nothing to you. And soon that will actually be the case. Yeah. Christy Evans says, I have been getting texts from a number I don't recognize. They are saying things like, do you still love your husband? Would you like to have him back? Fight to get him back. Do narcs still do this? Yes. Yes, narcs do this. This is him challenging you. I'm here to tell you, you should never fight for any person. Okay. I know that sounds really negative, but listen to what I'm about to say. When you're fighting for something, you're essentially bringing more reasons to fight into your life. Okay. So people who are like, well, I'm fighting against obesity, or I'm fighting against negativity. You can't do that. You can't do that, because then you're focused on obesity or negativity. You see, instead of fighting against something, you flow toward what you want. And what you want is peace, happiness, love in your life. You don't want a negative asshole who's going to destroy your heart and your soul and your whole life. You want somebody who will lift you up. And that person has to be yourself to begin with, my friend. You need to lift yourself up. You need to realize that you're too good for somebody like that. You need to realize that you don't need to be abused to be happy. In fact, it's the opposite of that. You need to not be abused to be happy, Christy. Don't take him back. That to me sounds like either a flying monkey or himself messaging you, trying to get your attention so that, trying to like subliminally push you toward fighting to get him back. Don't fight. Don't fight for anybody. Okay. Fighting is not the answer. The answer is flowing toward what you want, attracting the things that you want in your life. Let go of the things that don't serve you. And my friend, my feeling is that dude doesn't serve you. Am I right? All right. Zoe says, people, wait a minute. Example, people who went crazy were often were abused, but just because someone's been abused doesn't mean they, oh, very good point. They were likely to go crazy. Okay. That's absolutely the truth. Okay, Zoe. So for example, your narcissist might say to you, well, you're just saying that or doing that because you grew up in an abusive home and you're projecting your shit onto me. I'm not abusing you. That's all you. And so they try to make you, and it's gaslighting. It's straight up gaslighting. Okay. Gaslighting is when sometimes they'll take an actual fact, like the fact that you were abused, and they'll twist it and turn it and use, literature against you and tell you that, everybody who's been abused is crazy. This is all your fault. You're projecting your childhood onto me. I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. I'm me. No, I'm different. Well, the thing is that it doesn't excuse their abuse. It doesn't change the fact that they're obviously abusing you. Somebody who's supportive of you and loves you is not going to throw the fact that you were abused as a child into your freaking face. I promise you that. They're not. They're going to support you, and they're going to understand if you have a moment where you're triggered. Here's an example. I have one client who's amazing and intelligent and freaking gorgeous, okay? And she's now in a healthy relationship, but she's still really got a lot of CPTSD from her previous narcissistic abuser, who I believe was maybe a psychopath or at least a sociopath. But in this situation, her current guy, who's actually shockingly healthy, she's had a few moments where she's been triggered, and instead of being a total jerk to her and beating her down and making her feel even worse, guess what he did? He lifted her up and he said, "It's okay. I understand. I know that must have been very painful for you. It's okay. I'm here. I won't say that sentence anymore, that phrase that triggered you." You know what I'm saying? That person, Zoe, is the person who's attacking and making you feel like you're crazy because you were abused. That person's trying to make you crazy. It's gaslighting, straight up gaslighting. Watch my videos on gaslighting, Zoe. Tina Martin says she was singing Angie, Total Eclipse of the Narc. Turn around. A total eclipse of the narc. Turn around, he gets a little phony. I like that. That's great, Tina. Thank you. That was great. Okay. Luby Elizabeth Lee says, I've been blessed with 2 narcs in my life. My only sister, and my closest family member, and my husband. She's my closest family member and also my husband. Yeah, that's very common, Luby, because the fact of the matter is that when we are raised by or seriously influenced by a narcissist in our lives, we so unintentionally often find ourselves with another one. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think part of the reason is that you end up with, I think it's because you end up with someone who seems very strong to you and is willing to oppose your narcissistic family member. And for a minute, you're like, oh my God, I have somebody on my side. But pretty soon, the common enemy isn't always up in your business. And so pretty soon the narcissist turns you into the enemy. See, anytime you have a common enemy with a narcissist, you can be like totally together, right? And so for a while, your sister may have been the person who you and your husband were kind of us against the worlding with, right? But now that, your husband has narked out on you and taken the mask off, certainly your sister may have a new kind of focus. But my point is, it's very common for us to end up with a narcissist when we've been raised by or seriously influenced by narcissists in childhood. Partially because we don't know any better, partially because they do seem so strong and amazing, and because sometimes they're a different kind of narcissist. You'll have an overt and then you'll get with a covert or vice versa. It's just different. Yeah. SD says to Christy, yes, could very well be a narc or a flying monkey. Yep, agreed. Tommy D says, amen, Madeline. Indeed. Yeah, Jillian, I got you. She said those were lyrics to Total Eclipse of the Heart. Turn around every now and then he gets a little bit phony. I like it. Oh my God. Okay. Jillian, were you the one who wrote that? Whoever wrote that, I would totally do that for one of those videos. You should send me the whole thing. I would just tell me what it is, because I'll totally sing that. I have another one written for this week, to the tune of Cups. Do you guys know that song? Let me know. All right. Amanda Jackson says, get out now. Yeah. Breon Gardner says, no, I absolutely do not want to break no contact. I'm way past those days, thankfully. I'm so proud of you, sweetie. Madeline Gutierrez says, Tommy, I'm so sorry for your loss. Don't go to the funeral. I agree. It's a narcissist way to get you to break the order of protection, and you will open a Pandora box. Madeline's right, honey. She says, send a sympathy card to the parents. That's a great idea. God will bless you if you take care of you. I totally agree, Madeline. Excellent advice, my friend. Tommy, what do you think? And Tommy D says, that was my thought. Those were my thoughts too. Perfect. Okay. That is exactly what I think. I like the idea of sending the card. I think that's a great idea to the parents, not to her. Excellent. Excellent advice, my friend. Luby says, I've been mentally abused by both and gaslighted for both so many years until 3 years ago. I finally figured out what type of beast I was dealing with, both sister and husband. Yeah. And knowledge is power, isn't it, Luby? It really changes the way you see things and helps you to, when you can see the patterns emerging and the patterns replaying and repeating in the various people that are narcissistic in your life, it certainly does help. It helped me to know what was going on. Yeah. Abby says, Tommy, grief will never change a narcissist because I don't even think they grieve. Yeah, I don't think they grieve in the same way that everybody else does. Narcissists sometimes will be mad that somebody died because they left them, or they'll be mad that somebody died because rude, disrespectful, because they want the person to, the supply is gone or whatever. Or a lot of times what I see with a narcissist when somebody close to them dies is they use it to gain attention, to gain affection, to gain people feeling sorry for them. It's attention. And that's terrible, but it's true. I hate to say it out loud, but it's true. Tommy D says, narc speak. I like it. Yeah. Oh, Namaste Summer's here. She says, good morning. Another beautiful day of freedom. Love that. Christy Evans says, SD, it gives me a very creepy feeling. Yeah. And I don't understand it because he's with the new supply. Well, Christy Evans, you know what to do then, don't you? Shannon O'Brien says, Angie, thanks. Yes, I do waver, and I have a long list. Good for you, honey. I'm proud of you. I know how hard it is, believe me. Sanzi is here. Hey, Sanzi, welcome back. She says, sending positive vibes your ways. Hang in there, please. Start thinking for yourselves. Start thinking of yourselves for a change, people. It has always been about everyone else. That is exactly my point. Start thinking of yourself for a change. Thank you, Sanzi. That's an excellent and a very insightful point. Yes. Start thinking about yourselves for a change. It has always been about everyone else. And that's the truth. It took me a long time to get there. It did. And that's absolutely what we all need to do. Yeah. Ms. Jillian says, the dream about suitcases. The suitcases represent opportunities on your way. Ooh, you're so good, Jillian. The suitcases represent opportunities on your way to a destination that the narcissist stole from you. Opportunities the narcissist stole. I think that's legit. I think that's exactly what it means. Very good, Jillian. Thank you. Christy Evans says to SD, just to let you know, I never respond to the messages. Good for you, Christy. Good for you. Stay strong, my friend. Abby Maldonado says, I'm sorry you have to feel conflicted because naturally you're an empath and you want to be there. That's hard. It is hard. We all know how that is, don't we? And obviously, Abby, my love, you're also an empath because you can understand that. Very good. She says, if I had to deal with the same thing, well, there you go. The same thing too. And then I feel guilty. I've done the same. It is what it is. And here's what Abby says. She says, but I stopped feeling guilty. And I realized if I give this person an inch, they will take me for all that I have. You're so right. That is incredibly insightful. Thank you, Miss Abby Maldonado. Yes. Tommy, I hope that's a little bit helpful for you as well. Stop the Chaos says you're no longer responsible for their emotions. Well said, Angie. I need to make that stick. Remind yourself, write yourself a note if you need to, or keep it in your head. And whenever he starts the crap with you, tell him or think it out. Think it to yourself. He doesn't need to know anything about what you're thinking anymore. It's your thoughts, private. Again, it has nothing to do with him anymore. Tommy D says, I know it can be a play for sympathy, but my heart totally melts for her and her family. I will stay in prayer and rely on God for further guidance. Thank you, Angie and everyone. Sweetie, I know, and I know the pain. All I'm saying is, if you go, I would respect that choice. But I would be very careful not to let yourself fall back into the abusive relationship as a result of this situation. It's okay if you go, even if you want to support her, but the more emotional support you offer her, the more you're going to feel love for her, which is what we as empaths we do. And I feel your pain when you say your heart totally melts for her. I totally get that. But again, if she's abusing you, that's not going to change because her brother died. She may use this as a way to suck you back in. She may use it as a way to get sympathy and attention from you. But if you fall for it all the way, it's a hard call, I know. And I think relying on God for guidance is the best way to go, my friend. Meetings, Tiny Seagal, I don't know. MZG, amazing. I don't know. I'm going to call you Gal. Okay, Gal. I've been using the no contact. It has been a month, she says, since I spoke to my ex-narc. Does this mean that I will never hear from them again? He actually dumped me. No, it does not mean that. Unfortunately, even if they dump us, inevitably they come back and hoover us at some point. Now, not every single time, but 99% of the time. The only difference might be is if your ex-narc was like with someone else and you were a secondary person, sometimes in those cases, the narcissist doesn't come back right away. But otherwise, I think that, you're looking at, you would expect to hear some kind of hoovering attempt within a year or so. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, sometimes it doesn't happen. But I mean, almost inevitably, if you were the primary source of supply, they will at some point reach out to you. And then you have a choice to make. And my suggestion is always to lean toward not going back, not even responding if you can avoid it. Yeah. SD says, Christy, good. You're doing great. Totally agree. Shannon O'Brien says, I'm also making self-recovery a priority. Good for you. That is important. It's absolutely important. You got to do it, my friend. Luby says, agree with the narc when he puts you down and you'll throw him off. You just know that he's not correct. Yeah, I've seen that tactic. I've used that tactic. So like if they say, you have the biggest, stupidest nose I ever saw, I use the nose a lot because it's not really a thing people complain about very much. But if they complain about how big and stupid your nose is, you could just be like, okay, you're right. My nose is big and stupid. So, you know what I'm saying? It can work, but I wouldn't make that a habit because eventually you might drill that into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Electric is here. Hey, Electric says, hey, beautiful Angie. Hey. Tommy D says, thank you, Abby. And Electric says, hey, everyone. Malta says, good morning to Electric. And Electric responds, hi, Malta. Okay. Tommy D says, fearless, yes. Don't forget, God's given you a spirit of boldness and power, not fear and timidity. Yes. Sarah Dean says, hope everyone enjoys watching the eclipse in America. Would love to see it. Sure, it will be amazing. Yeah, they're doing it, Sarah, live. I mean, you'll be able to see it live on television, which I know is not the same, but they are doing that. Christy Evans says, and I'm sure YouTube will have it live all over the place. Christy Evans says, Tommy, my narc uses his health issues on me. You are strong. You can, and you will do this. Agreed. Try and stop me, mate says, what do solar eclipses represent? I feel like they're deep. I kind of did some research on this, and what I discovered was your solar, David, that's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, I did a little bit of research, and basically what I found out is it's a good time to release things that are no longer serving you, habits, ideas, stuff. And it's also a good time to embrace things you do want. So it's a great time for you to let go of the old, bring in the new, intentionally choose the new in the process. I'm, kind of rebirth. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Okay, Redstone Master is watching it. Sharon Chud is in the house. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? David H says, about the eclipse, if you don't have glasses, you can flip your phone's camera around to selfie mode and watch over your shoulder. I think I'm going to do that. And I think I am. That's a great idea. Thank you, David. And that'll keep your eyes safe, right? Wally says, we'll wait to see the eclipse today, and I will try my best, even feeling depressed, and we'll have Skype interview today. Very good, Wally. Very good. You're having a Skype interview today with whom? Did I miss something? Yeah, you should totally try that. Oh, are you talking about a job interview, Wally? Yeah. My suggestion is while you're watching it, try to let go of the depression. Because maybe this is the best time for you. Maybe as you're watching it, imagine the depression floating away in the darkness, and then when the light returns, imagine that you are reborn with a new, brighter, healthier spirit. It's a thought. Kat K is here. Hey, Kat K, how you doing? She says, I had to go from one narc to my narc parents. I feel so stuck in toxic situations. It's a temporary situation, Kat K. It does not mean that you're stuck there forever, but knowing that you're in another toxic situation should give you the motivation to work hard and focus on getting out. So, work some overtime if you can, or whatever you can do. Work on making enough money to get out and become independent. That's what I suggest. Thoughts? I've only got just another minute, guys. I'm going to have to. Okay. Thank you, Malta, for handling that spam-a-llama. All right. Jessica Rangel says, good morning. Court is today. He's done his anger management. So sad. My 2 and 3-year-old will have overnights. Oh, that's really hard. I just worry that he's going to neglect them. How do I cope? Well, I'll tell you what, Jessica, something that I've heard from a previous client, she told me this and I thought it was so smart, is what a lot of times will happen. 2 and 3-year-olds overnights, that's tough, right? So a lot of times, once he goes through one night of it, he'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. He may come up with excuses to not keep them. And anytime he does that, make it real easy for him. No problem, I'll be there. Because what will happen is that he'll just sort of start to fade away. And you can even say to him, okay, like after he has the first couple overnights and you can see that he's not enjoying the lack of sleep or whatever, you could gently, offer, well, if you need me to pick him up before bed, I don't mind. You have to make it easy for him. So if he cancels, make it easy for him. Don't make him feel bad about it. Make it easy. I don't know if that's really helpful or not, but other than that, if there are other people around him, his mother or anything like that, you could kind of put it in their hands a little bit. But the other thing that you can do is try to keep your mind off of it. I mean, unless you truly believe that he's going to abuse them physically or extremely abuse them emotionally, I want you to just try to let go of it. If you really think that he might do those things, then you need to talk to his family members, even if they're people who are also flying monkey types, and just say, look, I know you love your grandchildren or your nieces or your nephews or whatever, and I need you to make sure that everything's okay over there for me. It's a thought. I don't know how. I know a 2 and 3-year-old or they can't even tell you as much as you would like them to, but that's something. You can't really give a 3-year-old a phone. Maybe a walkie-talkie. I don't really know. Anybody have any ideas for Jessica on this? Okay, I've got just about one more minute, guys. SD says, David H, that's awesome. Absolutely. Tommy D says, thanks, Christy. And love is a decision, not at first sight. Agreed. Yes, Ange. Infatuation happens quick, but love, read first. Yeah. Ask yourself, is my partner these things? Okay. I think that's the love is patient, love is kind thing, right, Tommy? Johnny B. Good says, what about partners who have BPD? Well, BPD is different than NPD. And sometimes people who have been with narcissists develop BPD, which is difficult. So what about them? If they're abusing you, you still need support. And if, like, one of our people in this room has a woman who has BPD with narcissistic tendencies. So there might be some empathy in there somewhere, but it's difficult and it still feels very similar to what we're dealing with here. Also know this, a lot of times psychologists, psychiatrists, they misdiagnose people who have NPD with BPD or bipolar or things like that. Something to think about. Shannon O'Brien says, Sarah Dean, and a BPD, I assume you're talking about borderline, by the way. Shannon O'Brien says, Sarah Dean, skydiving sounds wonderful. Congrats on taking care of yourself. Absolutely. Deanna Stodala says, my husband sent me an email saying he wanted a divorce instead of talking. We have been married 27 years of name calling. Silent treatment. He says I turn his kids on him. He turns his own kids on him, His kids just see him and he doesn't like that. So he needs to blame you for it. If I'm you, if you really want to stay in that marriage, then that's one thing. But if you don't, let it happen. Consider it a blessing. Let me know your thoughts. Trying to Stop Me Made has solely says, holy shit, I just realized the girl I loved was an overt narc supporting a covert narc. The enablers are just sneakier about their toxicity with victimhood. I thought she was being manipulated and felt bad. Isn't that interesting? I've seen that before too. Thank you for telling me. Sabrina Gilliam. Hey, Sabrina, how you doing? Welcome back. She says, good morning, Angie and all. Was doing a great job with no contact, 2 months, got a new job, but have emotionally hit rock bottom, missing my ex-narc. Why, with all the good going on now? Well, honestly, Sabrina, I think that part of the problem is that when life gets really good, you're afraid the other shoe's about to drop. Okay. And in your previous experience, not being with the narc, he was the other shoe, right? Or she. So what you have to do is focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Don't focus on, oh my God, everything's going to get terrible. Or, oh my God, I miss this person because I'm alone now. Being alone doesn't mean lonely. If you like the new job, if you're doing the new no contact, and sometimes I'll tell you this much, getting a new job is actually really highly stressful to our systems, right? So I always found that it took me 6 months before I loved a new job, right? I could be really good at anything I wanted to do, but when I would get a job, it would always take me 6 months to feel like, okay, I know all the things now, or more, but usually 6 months was my particular number. So one of the things I would suggest is to focus on that. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And, maybe throw yourself into your new job and work on learning all the little intricacies of it. Maybe go out with some people after work sometimes, or if that's not appropriate, go to a meetup, do something else with your time. Don't focus on the narc. Instead, focus on bringing new healthy people into your life. Because I think what you're missing is the intimacy, the closeness. And you can gain that by having good friends to start with until you're healed. So maybe consider going to a meetup group in your area, or joining a club, or a volleyball team, or a softball team, or something like that. Bowling is super fun, and almost anybody can do it. Do something. I mean, not almost anybody can do it well, but anybody can roll a ball down the thing. You know what I'm saying? Just do something that feels fun to you, feels good to you. If there's a hobby or a passion you have, find other people who like that thing and go do that with them, or just go out dancing with the girls sometimes. Start changing the way that you're seeing things, okay? Yeah. Tommy says, Deanna, my prayers are with you. That sounds like a hot, broken mess. Agreed. Abby Maldonado says, yeah, I'm starting to run away from the feeling of being in love. I just don't want to be in love anymore. I can understand that one, my love. Muffy Lewandowski, hey girl, hey. She says, good morning to all. Thank you for all the help, Angie and Malta and friends on here, for your encouraging. I'm feeling a bit better after going into hiding for a few days. I feel you, honey. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry I have to run right now. It's almost that time. Okay, I'm going to run. I'm going to try to be back later today for another video. I will definitely be back tomorrow, twice on Tuesdays. And I'll read this chat when I get back from looking at the eclipse. I hope you guys are all going to do something to release any negativity in your hearts and your souls today, and try to attract to yourself the positive, beautiful energy that you deserve to have in your life. Peaceful, happy, exciting if you want. All right. I will be thinking of you guys today. I want to send out all the positive hugs, love, abundance, peace, every positive vibe I can your way today. And I want you all to know that it's going to get a little bit better every single day, starting right now. Okay. I'm closing up for now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. And I want you to please feel free to continue in the chat here, like I said, until YouTube shuts us off. And I will take a look at that when I am back for the afternoon. All right. Have a lovely day, everybody.